This actually happened. And if you've ever been alone in the woods at night, you might understand why some people never go back. Before we start, tell me where you're listening from tonight. City, state, or country. I read every single one. And if this video finds you, it's because YouTube put it in front of you for a reason. So if you like these kinds of stories, subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. These are 5 true stories where something was out there watching. Story 1. The Whistle. It started as a normal camping trip, the kind you don't think twice about until you're already out there, and it's too late to turn back. We picked a spot deep in northern Michigan, about an hour off the main road, down a dirt trail that barely qualified as a path. No signs, no other cars, no cell service, just trees, the kind that block out the sky the deeper you go. It was me and my buddy Eric. We'd done trips like this before, nothing extreme, just getting away, fishing, fire, a couple drinks, clear your head kind of thing. We set up just before sunset, found a clearing big enough for a tent, with a fallen log we used as a seat near the fire. Everything felt normal, quiet, but not empty. You could hear the woods doing what woods do, branches shifting, wind moving through leaves, the occasional crack of something stepping far off in the distance. We got the fire going, sat there for a while, just talking, nothing serious, work, life, the usual. And then, sometime after dark, that's when we heard it. A whistle, not loud, not sharp, just clear. 3 notes, slow, almost like someone trying to get your attention without being obvious. Eric stopped talking mid-sentence. We both just sat there, listening. The whistle came again, same 3 notes, same spacing. Eric kinda laughed and said, "Probably another camper." And that made sense. We weren't that far out. It wasn't impossible. So I yelled out, "Hey!" No response. We waited. Nothing. Then, the whistle again. But this time, it wasn't in the same place. It had moved. Before. It sounded like it was off to our left. Now, it was somewhere behind us. Eric turned around slowly. The fire was the only light we had, and beyond that, just black. He said, "That's weird." I remember thinking the same thing, but not wanting to say it, because once you say something's wrong out there, it changes the way everything feels. So we brushed it off, went back to talking, but not like before. We were both listening now, every few seconds, just waiting to hear it again. And it didn't take long. The whistle came back, this time from the right, not far either, closer than before. That's when Eric stood up. He grabbed the flashlight, shined it out into the trees. Nothing, no movement, no reflection, no sign of anyone, just trees and darkness. He lowered the light and said, "Okay, that's not normal." I didn't answer, because now I was thinking the same thing. If it was a person, how were they moving like that, without making any noise? No footsteps, no branches snapping, no leaves crunching, nothing. We both heard the whistle, but we never heard anything moving. And then, it stopped. Just like that. The woods went quiet again. Too quiet. That natural background noise. It was gone. No wind, no insects, nothing. Just us and the fire. Eric sat back down, didn't say anything. Neither did I. We just listened. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe longer. And then Eric said, "Let's just go in the tent." I didn't argue. We killed the fire early. Didn't even pack anything up. Just stepped on it, made sure it was out enough, and went straight into the tent. Zipped it shut. Inside, it felt smaller than it should have. You ever notice that? When something's wrong, even familiar places feel off. We laid there, both awake, no talking, just listening, waiting, and for a while, nothing happened. I actually started to relax a little, told myself we were overthinking it, and then the whistle came back, right outside the tent, not in the distance. Not somewhere in the trees. Right there, clear as day. 3 notes, slow, deliberate. Eric whispered, "Do you hear that?" I didn't answer, because I knew he knew. We both knew. It wasn't moving anymore. It had stopped. Right next to us. And that's when I realized something that I still can't explain. There were no footsteps. Nothing had approached the tent. It didn't walk up. It didn't run up. It was just there. Like it had always been there and we just didn't know. The fabric of the tent shifted slightly. Not a shake, not wind, a push like something touched it from the outside. Eric grabbed my arm, hard. Neither of us moved. The whistle came again, softer this time, slower. Like it wasn't trying to call us anymore, like it was letting us know. It knew we were inside, and then the zipper moved, just a little, not opening, just sliding, an inch, like someone testing it. I could hear Eric breathing next to me, fast, shallow. I don't think I was breathing at all. We stayed like that for hours. No talking, no moving, just waiting for something worse to happen. But it didn't. Eventually, the woods came back. Wind, insects, distant sounds, like whatever had been there was gone. We didn't sleep. As soon as it started getting light, we got out of that tent, packed everything up in silence, didn't eat, didn't talk, just left. When we got back to the car, Eric finally said, "There should have been footprints," and he was right. The ground around the tent was soft, dirt, leaves, loose soil, but there was nothing, no tracks, no marks, nothing to show that anything had ever been there. We never figured out what made that sound, but it knew exactly where we were, and it didn't need to walk to get there. Be honest, would you have opened that tent? Story 2. The lights. I used to think the woods were peaceful at night, until I realized not everything out there is trying to hide. This one happened when I decided to go camping alone. No friends, no noise, just me, and a few days off. I drove out to a spot I'd never been before. About 2 hours past the last gas station. No marked campsites, no other cars. Exactly what I wanted. I set up just before sunset. Small tent, simple fire, nothing fancy. The woods felt normal, alive. Birds calling, branches moving. That steady background noise you don't really notice until it's gone. I cooked something quick, sat by the fire for a while, then crawled into the tent around midnight. I remember thinking, this is exactly what I needed. And for a while, it was quiet. I must have fallen asleep, because the next thing I remember was waking up suddenly. No sound, no reason, just awake. You ever get that feeling like your body knows something's wrong before your mind does? That's what this felt like. I laid there, staring at the inside of the tent, trying to figure out what woke me up. And then I saw it, light, faint, moving through the fabric of the tent. At first I thought, headlights. Maybe someone drove out here late, but that didn't make sense. There wasn't even a road close enough. I sat up slowly, didn't unzip the tent yet, just watched. The light moved again, then another one appeared, and then a third. 3 lights, floating. Not steady like a flashlight, not sweeping like headlights. They drifted, slow, controlled, almost like they were looking. I felt my chest tighten, because they weren't random. They kept stopping, right where my tent was, like they were checking it. I reached over, grabbed my flashlight, and for a second, I just held it, didn't turn it on, because something in me said, don't let them know you're awake. But curiosity won. I unzipped the tent just enough and shined the light out. Nothing. No lights, no people, no movement, just trees. Dark, still. I stepped out, slowly. The air felt wrong, heavy, like before a storm. I turned in a slow circle. Nothing. No sound. No sign of anyone. And then, all 3 lights came back, at once, behind me. I didn't turn around right away. I could see them reflecting off the trees, that soft glow. Moving closer, my heart started pounding. I spun around, and they stopped, just hung there, 3 of them, about 10 feet off the ground, not attached to anything, not swinging, just there, watching. I whispered, "Hello?" Nothing, no answer, no movement, and then they shut off, all at once, pitch black, no fade, no flicker, just gone. I stood there for a second, waiting for something else to happen. Nothing did, so I backed up slowly, got back into the tent, zipped it shut. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Crunch. Pause. Crunch. Circling the tent, not running, not sneaking, just walking, like it had all the time in the world. I held my breath. The steps stopped, right outside. I could hear it standing there, not moving, and then breathing. Slow, deep, right next to my head. Not like an animal, too steady, too controlled, like it knew exactly where I was. I wanted to shine the flashlight again, but I couldn't move. Something in me said, "Don't." The breathing stayed there for what felt like forever. Then, the steps started again, walking away, slow, unbothered, like it wasn't afraid of me at all. I didn't sleep the rest of the night, didn't move, didn't speak, just waited for morning. When the sun finally came up, I got out of that tent, packed everything up as fast as I could, didn't even look around. I just wanted out. As I was loading the car, I finally forced myself to look at the ground around the tent. And that's when I noticed something. There were footprints, but they didn't make sense. They circled the tent, just like I heard. But they stopped, right where the breathing was. And then, nothing. No tracks leading away, no direction, just gone. Like whatever made them didn't need to walk anymore. I don't camp alone anymore, because whatever was out there, it wasn't lost, and it wasn't human. If you saw those lights, are you staying or leaving? Story 3, the figure by the fire. The longer you stay out there, the more the woods start to feel like something else. Not empty, just waiting. There were 4 of us on that trip. Nothing extreme, just a weekend away from everything. We drove out late afternoon. Same kind of place you don't find unless you're looking for it. Dirt roads, no signs, trees thick enough to block out the sky. By the time we set up, the sun was already dropping behind the tree line. We got a fire going pretty quick. That orange glow, cutting through the dark, makes everything feel normal again, at least at first. We had music playing low off someone's phone, just enough to fill the silence. Talking, laughing, passing drinks around. For a while, it felt like any other trip, but there's always a moment. You don't notice it right away, but something shifts. The woods get quieter, not silent, just less, like something pulled the sound back. That's when Jake stopped talking, mid-sentence, just cut off. I remember looking over at him, thinking he forgot what he was saying, but he wasn't confused. He was staring, straight past the fire, into the trees, didn't blink, didn't move, and then he said it. "Who's that?" Not loud, not joking, just matter of fact. We all turned. At first, I didn't see anything, just darkness between the trees. Firelight doesn't go far. After a certain point, everything just turns black. One of the guys laughed, said, "Stop messing around." But Jake didn't laugh. He stood up slowly, still staring. That's when I saw it. Something shifted, not a full movement, just enough to break the pattern of the trees, and then it stepped forward, just one step, into the edge of the firelight, enough for us to see the shape, a person, at least. That's what it looked like, standing upright, arms at its sides, but something about it was off. It didn't move like someone stepping forward. It just appeared there, like it skipped the motion. Nobody said anything. We just stared at it, waiting for it to do something normal. Wave, speak, walk closer. It didn't. It just stood there, perfectly still. I remember thinking, if that's a person, why aren't they reacting to us? We were loud, fire going, music playing. No one could miss us. Jake finally said, nothing. No head turn, no response, just watching. The fire cracked, shifted, light flickered. And for a split second, it looked closer. Then it was gone. Not stepped back, not ran, just gone. Like it was never there. We all moved at the same time. Got up, grabbed flashlights, shined them into the trees. Nothing, no movement, no sound, no footprints. Just woods, endless woods. We circled the area, nothing. But when we came back to the fire, none of us sat down right away because something didn't feel right. That comfort the fire gave us before, it was gone. Now it just felt like a spotlight, and everything outside of it was watching. We stayed up, didn't say much. Every once in a while, one of us would look out into the trees, like we expected to see it again. And once, I swear I did. Not fully, just a shape. Between two trees, gone when I looked directly at it. The rest of the night, we felt it, moving around us, staying just outside the light, never stepping in again, never making a sound, just there. Morning came. We didn't talk about it much, packed up, left. But on the drive back, Jake finally said it. It wasn't just standing there. We all looked at him, and he said, it was waiting for us to notice it. Drop line. What do you think that was? A person or something else? Because something didn't feel right. That comfort the fire gave us before, it was gone. Now it just felt like a spotlight, and everything outside of it was watching. We stayed up, didn't say much. Every once in a while, one of us would look out into the trees, like we expected to see it again. And once, I swear I did. Not fully, just a shape between two trees, gone when I looked directly at it. The rest of the night, we felt it, moving around us, staying just outside the light, never stepping in again, never making a sound, just there. Morning came. We didn't talk about it much. Packed up, left, but on the drive back, Jake finally said it. It wasn't just standing there. We all looked at him and he said, it was waiting for us to notice it. What do you think that was? A person or something else? Story 4. The tent. There's a point where fear stops being something you imagine and becomes something that can touch you. This was that point. It was just the two of us on that trip. No group, no backup, no noise except what we made. We picked the spot late. Later than we should have. By the time we found a clearing, the sun was already gone. The woods looked different at night, not just darker, tighter, like everything was closer together. We set up fast, didn't even talk much while doing it, just focused on getting the tent up, getting a fire going, doing the things you do to feel in control. The fire helped, it always does. That light, that warmth, it pushes the dark back just enough to make you believe you're safe. We sat there for a while, didn't say much. Something already felt off, not wrong enough to leave, but enough that we both noticed it. The woods were quiet, too quiet. No insects, no wind, no distant movement, just us and the fire. My friend finally said it. Feels dead out here. I didn't answer because I didn't want to confirm it. We let the fire burn down, didn't stay up long, got into the tent earlier than we planned. Zipped it shut. Inside felt small, not cramped, just contained. Like everything outside was being held back by something thin. We laid there, wide awake, listening, waiting for the woods to sound normal again. But they didn't. Time passed. Minutes, maybe an hour, and then something grabbed the tent. Not wind, not a light movement. A pull, sharp, hard enough to shift the entire structure. We both sat up instantly. Didn't say anything, didn't need to. We both felt it. The tent moved again, this time slower, dragging slightly across the ground, like something was testing it, seeing how much it could move it. My friend whispered, "Don't unzip it." I nodded, even though he couldn't see me, because the thought had already crossed my mind. That instinct to look, to confirm, but something deeper said don't. Then, something pressed against the side of the tent. From the outside, the fabric pushed inward, forming a shape, human, standing right next to us, close enough that if the fabric wasn't there, we would have been touching it. Neither of us moved. I could hear it, breathing, slow, deep, controlled, not like an animal, too steady, too aware. It stayed there, not moving, not speaking, just breathing, right beside us. I felt my chest tighten. Every instinct in my body was telling me, don't make a sound. Minutes passed, or at least it felt like minutes. Could have been seconds. Time doesn't work right when you're like that. Then it moved. Not away, across the tent, slowly, dragging along the fabric, from one side to the other, like it was feeling for something, searching. Its hand, or whatever it was, pressed harder in certain spots, testing, learning. It reached where my head was, and stopped. The pressure stayed there, right above me, and the breathing got louder, closer, like it knew exactly where I was inside. I didn't move. I didn't even blink. I just stared at the ceiling of the tent, waiting for it to do something worse. But it didn't. It just stayed there, listening, like it was waiting for me to react. Then it pulled away. The pressure disappeared. The breathing faded. And then footsteps, slow, heavy, walking away from the tent. Crunch. Pause, crunch, not running, not in a hurry, like it wasn't afraid of us at all. We stayed like that, didn't speak, didn't move, for hours, until the first hint of light came through the trees. When morning finally came, we unzipped the tent, slow, careful, half expecting something to still be there, but there wasn't. Just the woods, quiet again, almost normal. We stepped outside, looked around, and the first thing we did was check the ground, because this time there had to be something that made sense, but there wasn't. No footprints, no drag marks, no signs that anything had been there. Just our tent, exactly where it should be, like it was never touched. My friend looked at me and said, "It knew we were in there." I didn't answer, because I already knew. And it didn't need to see us to find us. Drop line. I need to know. Would you unzip that tent? Yes or no? No. Story 5. It followed us home. Some things out there aren't tied to a place. They don't stay in the woods because they were never part of it to begin with. We should have turned back earlier. That's the part I keep coming back to. Nothing obvious happened at first. No sounds, no movement, just a feeling, that quiet pressure, like you're being watched. We both felt it, didn't say anything, because saying it makes it real, and once it's real, you can't ignore it anymore. We were about a mile from where we parked, late afternoon, sun starting to drop. The trail was narrow, trees on both sides, close enough that you couldn't see far ahead. That kind of place where, if something was watching you, you'd never know where it was. We kept walking, trying to act normal, but we both started moving faster, not running, just quicker steps. And then we heard it, footsteps behind us, slow, matching our pace. We stopped. The steps stopped. We looked at each other. Neither of us said anything. We just turned around. Nothing. Empty trail, trees, no movement, no sound. We stood there for a few seconds, trying to convince ourselves it was nothing. Then we started walking again, and the steps came back. Same rhythm, same distance, closer this time, not by much, but enough to notice. We stopped again. The steps stopped again. That's when I felt it, not just behind us, but closer than it should have been. like it had closed the distance without moving. I turned around faster this time. Nothing, but the air felt different, heavy, like something was there, just out of sight. My friend finally said it. Something's behind us. Not a question, a statement. And then we heard a voice, quiet, right behind us. Don't go. Not loud, not aggressive, almost calm, like it wasn't trying to scare us, like it was trying to stop us. We didn't wait. We ran, didn't look back, didn't stop. Branches hitting us, feet slipping, didn't matter. We just needed to get out. We made it to the car, got in, locked the doors, sat there for a second, breathing hard. Neither of us spoke, because we both heard it. We both knew, and neither of us wanted to say it out loud. We drove off, didn't look in the rearview mirror, didn't talk the whole way home. And for a while, it felt like we got away. Like, whatever that was, stayed there. But that's not how this ends. That night, I was home, in my bed, door locked, windows shut, safe. At least, that's what I thought. Around 2 a.m., I woke up, same way as before. No sound, no reason, just awake. That feeling again, that pressure, like something was there. I stayed still, listening, and then I heard it. Footsteps, outside, slow, back and forth, right below my window. Same pattern, same pace. As the woods, I didn't move, didn't get up, didn't look, because I already knew. Then, 3 slow taps on the glass, right next to my head, not loud, just enough to let me know. It knew exactly where I was. I stared at the wall, didn't turn, didn't breathe. The taps didn't come again. The footsteps stopped, and after a while, it was quiet, completely quiet. But I didn't sleep, not that night, and not the same way since. Because once something like that finds you, you don't know if it ever really leaves. Some things don't belong in the woods, because they don't stay there. And if you hear it once, it might already be too late if you made it this far. Comment, I stayed, so I know who actually made it through. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, because these stories only get darker from here. I'll see you in the next one.